So I am done with my freshman year of college, and I feel like there's a lot people don't tell you. You see your older friends going off to school and they tell you stories and all that stuff, but nothing compares to you actually experiencing it. I didn't think some of the things that were gonna happen. It's very up in the air. I feel like when you go off to college, I went to public university in the state I live in, and you just learn a lot. You learn about yourself, your roommate, your friends from back home, your friends that you meet in school, and just everything. I really enjoyed my freshman year. I met a lot of great people, I had a lot of great experiences, and I've had some very special people come into my life, and I've also had special people leave and relationships change. Um, some of the biggest ones is people who I thought were going to be my friend forever. Um, it's a lot harder to talk and communicate with them than you would think. It's frustrating because someone you spent the past 4 years of high school with, and then that whole time is gone. Someone you thought is just always there for you and you did everything for them, you kind of learn that maybe this relationship was a little bit more one-sided heavy and you gave more than what they did. And I feel like that's just true for a lot of things. Like, you have to realize that. So I feel like college has puts a lot of strain on your relationships. I luckily have a group of three best girlfriends that we could not talk for 2 weeks and then see each other, and it's the same. Our relationship is the same because that's just how well we mesh. We don't always have to explain everything with each other. We catch up and it's great. There's times we'll text, we'll Facebook, we'll Skype, and like, I feel like that's okay. But then there's some friends where you try talking to them, but then because of their college experiences, they change and you just don't mesh anymore because you're not in the security of high school. You're not, it's your comfort zone. And when you go to college, you leave your comfort zone. Everyone's leaving their comfort zone. Everyone's creating new experiences. Like where I went off and where my friends went off were completely different. Like, yeah, in one of my friends' cases, we were 45 minutes away, but I never saw them at school because of our schedule. So you're just busy. You make time for other things, and people make time for other things too. And sometimes those things aren't the same. Where that's when you lose friendships, or that's when they can get stronger or stay the same. Luckily, at school, you can make new friends. I was in marching band, so I met a lot of people through there. I've had great experiences just going to all the games in my school and just doing fun things like that. So I encourage you to do what interests you. Do what you like to do because you will find people who like the same things as you. It sounds so cheesy, but I continued doing color guard in college. And I met other people who like to do color guard, and I've had so many great memories, and that's one of them is my roommate for next year, and I'm sure I will probably live with some other guard people in my continuing years. And so that's the good thing about college. There's thousands of other people that you can meet, and one of them could be just like you, that you didn't have that in your school, especially if you came from a tiny school where I met people who had less than 100 people in their graduating class. I had around 500, so it's kind of mid-size. Because well, not mid-size, is pretty big. I met people upwards to like 750, 800. So you get all walks of life. So it's like maybe that one person from that tiny town that you're like, where is this? That could be your new best friend. Or some town that is only a half hour where your aunt lives. Like, that could be your new best friend. So that's what's great about college. You get those experiences to just meet people. But then you have your back home friends, and that's who you're going to come back home to until you move out of the nest. And it's just crazy how things change and how what people do, they change. I'm sure I changed a lot too. I think I hopefully become a better person. I'm a lot more in tune with myself. I just learned what makes me happy, and I am continuing doing that. I feel like this is probably going to be more on the relationship part of school. Maybe I'll do other things, but I just feel like I need to get this off my chest because things have just been happening. And one of the bad things, like social media, is wonderful and it's also bad at the same time because you see things you don't want to see and you're like, well, that's cool. So that's a different rant in itself. But anyway, long story short, relationships will change. I think you need to understand that. I know senior year, I was thinking, like, of all my friends here, I'll be like, okay, this person, I don't think I'm going to be friends with, and we're not friends now. Like, I don't mind that. Like, I knew that relationship was not going to work because we were just two different people, and going away, we didn't see it happening. And then with some people who I'm like, you're my best friend, you're someone I hung out with all the time, and now it's almost like I feel like we're strangers. I don't know what's going on in her life, and I don't think she knows what's going on in mine, and that's just frustrating. So that's a little recap of relationships, of friendships, I guess you could say, in college. Well, thank you for listening, and I'll see you later.